able to buy like Ford stock back in 1940, right? Back then it was really hard to get into and that, but crypto opens this big opportunity. So now's your chance to really claim that. As you've seen, tech stocks like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, they were really volatile. John and I were talking about this. And in the early years, you know, there was a lot of like, are they gonna be able to make it happen? I think we're in that time period right now. Something big, some big news though. Institutions, big institutional money is going to be pouring into crypto. You're going to be able to go to like your Wells Fargo account, Bank of America, and seamlessly transfer, and your wealth advisor will be able to move your money into crypto as well. So Fidelity, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, major banks are at the brink of major adoption. And the biggest news that John and I were talking about yesterday, Jerome Powell, chair of the Federal Reserve, mentioned that a well-regulated, privately issued stablecoin could coexist with central bank's digital dollar.
Well, I mean, it was a little bit shorter than that. Somebody asked that question, and he's just said yes. It's just a very simple yes. It can. The individual who, so the
senator
asked the question, and then the individual just responded with, "Yes, it can." Like nothing to expand on. It just yes. It's a very simple answer because crypto can live alongside normal fiat.
They have theirs now,
yeah.
And so we're gonna have ours. Do you guys know? You guys need to take some notes on this though, because we're gonna go really fast because we all suffer from crazy ADD. The 3 stages, though, I just want to tell you about, you guys. First, there's resistance, and then there's lawsuits, and then there's regulation. So we're right in that stage, though, to go into regulations.
Yeah.
So that's a big, huge thing. Right now, you've seen, and this has been happening kind of behind the scenes for like some of the ecosystem, Disney, Adidas, major companies now, Marvel, all these guys. If you look at the I can't pronounce it, Veve ecosystem, you're allowed to actually buy a lot of these NFTs in an app store ecosystem. That's coming huge. So it's slow, steady indoctrination. So those of you that are old like me and Scott here a little bit, you guys remember when people were scared to put their credit card into America Online, right? Like anything. My mom doesn't do online pay. Yeah. So I mean, so this is like where it's gonna go. I mean, it's a big thing. So, and then John's innovating some cool stuff to solve these problems.
Yeah, I mean, one of the first things we noticed is we understood regulations were coming down, and it's better to play nice. And so we're about to finish up the filing of our EU e-money license. So that gives us a lot of opportunities and a lot of growth areas to go into and do it within compliance. And so that's something that we focused heavily on at Safemoon. So rather than just release an exchange and hope for the best, we're actually going through the compliance steps here in the United States and in the 167 different jurisdictions that we work in.
John,
so,
before we go into all the cool stuff you're doing, tell the crowd how long Safemoon's been around and what's happened in the last year. So less than a year.
Yeah,
look at the crowd, put the mic up, and just tell them what just happened in 8, 9, 10 months.
Yeah, so we kicked off March 2021, quickly grew to around 3 million holders. We created our own wallet. We have our own decentralized exchange. We keep building products. We're a tech company.
So March. So what were you doing a year ago today?
So I got out of the military, and then I got into business, and so I started a government contracting company. Realized I didn't like that at all. A lot of too much paperwork there. And then I did import-export, and then I started a video game company because I wanted to tell stories and narratives and stuff like that. But March hit, and opportunity presented itself to really go deep into cryptocurrency. And I've kind of always been around it, but not from the trading side of it, more from the technology side and what it can do. So we kicked off Safemoon and rolled from there. But the biggest thing that we learned was it's about the community. It's about communicating with your community, involving them in the dev process. And because we've been able to involve them in our development process, we've seen astronomical success, even down to the wallet that we launched in September. Minus that rocky start of that launch, but we launched it in September, and we're almost at 1 million users in under 4 months. So I credit a lot of that to having a really good team. And what you've seen in the 9 months is our team and company evolving to be able to handle it. And Ryan Arriaga, our global head of products, has been a key instrumental player in that realm. So it's building the right team around it. So
I I want to say something. I for 10 years have been on a search for what company will come out of Utah and be the first household name globally. And that means that you could go to the streets of Italy or France or Mongolia and say the name, and the people, and like maybe 10% or 20% of the people in those cities would be like, yeah, I know blah blah. Well, right now Utah doesn't have, or for the last several years, Utah does not have a household name that you could do that with. And people try to argue with me online that we have Qualtrics. No, sorry guys, no. But like, outside of people that work for Qualtrics or live in Utah, nobody knows what it is. So let's be honest. Household name, that's like Nike, that's like Netflix, that's like Facebook. I'm in the streets of Malta, France, Finland, Ecuador, all in the last 3 months. Without fail, I can bring up Safemoon, whether I'm in an airport line or I'm out hiking on a mountain, a volcano. I can bring up the word Safemoon, and somebody has heard of it. I think we might have a household name globally right here in Utah that's emerging. And that is a telltale sign. And when I can go anywhere in the world, and that's happening. So give it up for Safemoon. Woo! Yeah. Anyway.
hey, I've got, it's 8,000 to 1 million. I got time. I don't have to eat it just yet.
All right. So I just had to tell that little anecdote. He was organized with the notes here, and back to you.
Let's talk about Utah a little bit here. Clark Stacy, he'll be speaking later in the NFT thing. We're collabing on a project called Cinder.io, which is pretty rad. Here, raise your hand if you played World of Warcraft, right? So who here owns virtual land or NFTs? Okay. So the interesting thing though is most of your NFT ecosystem, and so you got to look at really what Clark's doing. I think it's pretty amazing with Cinder.io because it integrates like AAA game quality with an ecosystem. So in World of Warcraft, if you guys have played, you could have PvP, player versus player zones. So imagine though being able to use your NFTs to actually have huge guilds, huge empires that are worth millions and millions of dollars, having an epic opt-in battle where if you win, you split the loot. Like you guys have done raids. So imagine that for like 20, $30 million bags. I think it's pretty cool. And I think it's integral as far as the key to getting the younger people into the ecosystem because it's going to get them interested where you can actually win real money. And if you want to like not be combative, you can go into the player versus environment zone.
Yep.
Right. And just have a good time and build like The Sims. So I think that's just an amazing new thing that's coming out of Utah. So you've got John's thing, you've got his, and of course a lot of other people here are going to be speaking today. So pretty cool stuff.
I see some congestion in the back. There are seats up here. Come forward. This is the time to do it. Don't be afraid. Whatever you're wearing doesn't matter. Look at me. Walk in front of people.
Just so you know, Scott showed up to the Safemoon HQ in full chainmail when we first met. Yeah. Hard to miss. I'm like, oh, that's cool. No judgment there. I mean, if I could walk around in chainmail, I would. Yeah.
Guys, maybe this, I think some of you guys came here for some just like, how do I buy tokens? Maybe some of that. How do I stake tokens? How can I make money passively? So let me just give you like this 120-second consolidation of that.
Nope. I do not give financial advice. I don't give price predictions.
Talk to a
Please don't sue me.
financial professional advisor. Again, this is just experiential stuff. Okay, quickly take notes on this because I'm gonna go really fast, and I don't know if they'll replay this. So let's go. Inflation, I believe, is at 15% plus right now. Coca-Cola 10 years ago was like $1 at 7-Eleven. It's like $2.49 now. Divide that by 10, boom, 15%. So obviously there's going to be a flood, I think, to crypto assets. There's a rule called the 40-40-20 rule. Write this down. The 40-40-20 rule that I follow the thesis is 40% in boring conservative stuff, real estate, some big cap stocks and those things, 40% in mid-level risk and 20% in moonshots. And this has served me well. I do a thing called the principal double. When my principal doubles, I take out my principal, then I'm playing with house money, right? And then what I do is when I do doubles, I peel off 20% and I shift them to conservative assets. This way you keep powder dry for redeployment. So for beginners, a lot of you guys have started on Coinbase, Crypto.com, Gemini to make easy buys, which is great. You need to look at staking because just for example, with stable coins, a lot of them pay a certain amount. Crypto.com, some people like them, some people hate them. Their CEO reached out to me, and so I like them now. And and some of their stable coin products pay up to 14%, which outpaces the S&P, which is kind of interesting. Now, it doesn't mean that it's totally safe. It could get blown up, regulated, or something and killed. But according to Jerome, that likelihood is low. Now, your second level is going to be MetaMask. Do not use Trust Wallet. I don't like that as far as safety goes.
Yeah. That's what I'll say about that.
And just in about a month, you're going to use another wallet that you'll meet here today on the next panel.
The Safemoon wallet?
Oh, wait. No, Safemoon Wallet's great, guys. Why? That one's already out. But, I'm pretty giddy about the one that's coming out, though.
Yeah. No, so with the MetaMask is a good option. Safemoon Wallet's also a good option. We have Wallet Connect and other features coming in. But I would not recommend using Trust Wallet. I mean, that was one of the reasons why we built our own wallet was because we saw some issues there in both the security quality and accessibility side of things. And so we set out to change that. And Ryan was integral in coordinating, getting that team and getting it built out. And, our dev cycles are ridiculous. The wallet was built in 6 weeks.
Are there regulations on wallets issued on the app stores? Like how much block? Like you're issuing like this gateway to owning digital currency, NFTs.
I can't comment on the regulatory side.
Not the regulatory, but like, what does Apple and Android think about these wallets coming onto their platforms that are essentially these safe ways to store value digitally? I'm just curious.
It's a process to go through their approval, but once you get through it the first time, it's a lot easier to iterate after that.
It's also like so new to them, they probably don't actually know what's
and it
happening.
also depends on the approval person that you get as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of luck of the draw. We did run into some delays when it came to getting our first wallet approved, but through the brilliant use of the community by Ryan and his constant follow-up and explaining, hey, no, we did it, we resolved the issue, here you go. We were able to do that.
A lot of people in here are trying to build stuff, submit things, so they'll love to talk to you about that stuff. But I'll go back to Dan on
the one aspect is don't collect user data, and your life will be so much easier. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
All right, guys, more hardcore notes. I'm a Vulcan, so I like to give kind of the logical thing here on this. So let's just talk about also security. This is critical, like super critical. If I add up like all my buddies who've texted me in the last 12 months, about $300 million has been stolen. And this is from my friend group. And these are people that are very advanced in crypto. They've been in it since 13 and earlier. So there's a thing called approvals. So if you've used MetaMask and you connect to a DeFi project or anything, it's going to have you sign for that approval, right? That's giving wallet permission to take money out or deploy tokens or whatever it is. Now, a lot of you guys use ledgers and different devices for secondary validation. There's a website called, and that's always a good thing. I always recommend a separate laptop that you have with really good security that all you do is do your crypto stuff on there and don't carry it around with you. That's kind of stupid. Make sure you have that and obviously a secondary device. But a lot of people think that ledger is a total safety net, and it's not. Those guys who had $300 million stolen, I had $260,000 stolen, and I thought I was really good at it. And I'll teach you guys how to avoid this like 99.9% of the time. There's a website called DBank, DEBANK. And it was cool because Scott helped me through this too, and Kurt, who's out right now, but he helped me through some of this. But we found this site called DBank, and you can connect your wallet, and there's a place that says approvals, and it shows you a list of all the approvals you've given. I had 193 open approvals, and MetaMask defaults to give infinite approvals. So what that means in English is when you, by default, connect to a site and you give it approval, you've given them access to that crypto token infinitely. So even if you have a ledger, it can bypass the ledger and they'll just steal your money. Period. End of story. So what I do is called the scrub. And every day I go through and I disconnect any suspecting unknown projects or things I don't want to be connected to. The major exchanges like Uniswap and things like that, or PancakeSwap, you can leave them open. It's cool. But I wasn't that stressed. It was a good week. I think in like 4 days, I made like $1.7 million on these weird tokens. So it was cool. And that's basically like someone stealing a couple of chips when you go pee at Vegas on your poker table. That happens, right? So use DBank, guys, and get very familiar with it. You can also use it to scan other people's wallets. By the way, nothing is private. So like if you send someone an NFT or some tokens, they can see what you got in every transaction.
Yeah. So, and this is a common misnomer that I've, especially when I was in the Gambia talking with government officials, there was a question of like, well, how transparent is the blockchain? I'm like, it's the worst place to hide money. Like blockchain is immutable and it's transparent. So you can see everything that happens across the blockchain and it's there forever. So it's a phenomenal, beautiful system of transparency and efficiency. But yeah, if you are sending an NFT or you're sending tokens to a friend, you can see their entire wallet.
John, put it right here, like the mic, and then tell me about what you don't just say the Gambia. Like, what are you doing over there in the Gambia?
So yeah, we're right now working on implementing some of our technologies, and it's not just specifically there. One of the big things that we had.
Hold on, like you're talking more than blockchain technologies.
Yeah, I'm talking macro IoT that evolves into what I call meta IoT, which is Internet of Things. It's connecting large infrastructure together, whether it be telecommunications, whether it be energy, whether it be even down to supply chain when it comes to farming. And each one of those can be integrated with each other to create an efficient ecosystem where, for example, you're now being able to pay your bills using cryptocurrency instantaneously. And that feeds back to the farmer who just sold some beans to the market, and then that feeds back into the energy produced in from the wind turbines.
So Safemoon is moving beyond just a protocol and a wallet.
So we have. So right now we have wind turbines that we've been developing. So we take a commercial off-the-shelf wind turbine, and then we apply an advanced nanotechnology on top of it to essentially be able to extract more kinetic energy from the wind. What does that mean? Basically, it runs more efficiently than a untreated wind turbine.
Yeah.
And so that's something we've been working on actually for quite a bit now, and we're about ready to launch that and get that to market.
Do you see this becoming a trend where a company that is mostly digital is saying, how do I have real world implications as well, like physical stuff? Like I see Helium in their boxes. I know a company here, Gala Games, does some stuff. I tried to get them here today, but they're too busy printing money. But they have physical stuff that they do. And is that going to kind of be a differentiator in the future? Is like, hey, we're not just this on-chain, no one really sees it, but you're bringing stuff to life, and you're also like bringing it to third world.
So one of the things I recognize is matter can either be created or destroyed, and that even applies into the digital realm. So if you have wealth, for example, go into a video game or into NFTs, that has a ripple effect on the real world. Now, what if you're able to actually tie that effect into the real world and anchor it to real assets? For example, wind turbines. You buy this wind turbine NFT, you receive what I call reality reflections from the real world into the game. And so now, in the game, it could be a resource generator. And in this game, you're receiving more cryptocurrency, whether it be Safemoon, Bitcoin, doesn't matter. You're receiving more crypto in the game, which allows you to participate more and do more things. Well, if someone comes along and there's this massive opt-in battle that takes place, well, there's a lot of money that's being moved. That then gets reflected back to the real world. And so nobody's left behind. Everyone is actually participating in this metaverse and this meta internet of things.
So that's kind of back to your game. You're talking battle. When you say battle, you're talking an online kind of.
I'm talking like an online kind of
Okay.
situation. It doesn't have to be that specific example, but it's tying and anchoring what's happening in the metaverse into the real
Yeah,
world. So there's a positive effect on both sides.
Wow. And I remember when we were in Malta, we even met like a recycling, a whole of garbage disposal tokenization. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
they
this is crazy.
take your garbage, turn it to oil, tokenize it.
Yeah. So we're going to see this stuff. This isn't fantasy land. This is coming to pass. Like we're going to see turbines.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
He just says yes.
We have a megawatt on the
We'll
way
hear
and
what that means.
many more after that.
Okay, perfect. I've distracted you once again, Dan. Keep giving us the notes to take, and I will come in and I'll, all right, I'll keep grabbing the mic. We're gonna go for about 10 more minutes, and then I want to do Q&A from the crowd because I know there's a lot of burning questions for someone particular on the stage here, not me.
All right, smattering of data to keep you safe in this new digital world. Phishing links, John and I were talking about that. Like, make sure if you're at PancakeSwap, wherever you're going, you're at the real site.
PancakeSwap.finance, swap.safemoon.net. Like, make sure, don't click on janky links. Do your own research and make sure that when you connect your wallet to something, it's what you're actually intending to connect to.
Very critical. Taxes, I've been audited 4 times for cryptocurrency. Every time I've been fine. The first one was the subpoena from the Coinbase. I was one of the original guys there, and and so they sent 7 agents out to scan on my wallet. So make sure your CPA is well versed in crypto taxation and exporting your wallet transactions, and you're paying your taxes. Can't hide it.
Just a shout out. Today is the launching of a new company that Derek, my partner, moontax.com. You guys haven't even heard that. You're hearing it right now. Moontax.com is going to be taxes. It's going to be taxes for you, Dan. We're going to make taxes fun again, to the moon.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of tax providers already. So Safemoon partnered with TaxBit to provide free taxes to our users of the Safemoon wallet. So there's a lot of great innovations, a lot of great companies like Moontax, like TaxBit they understand that this is going to be a thing, and it is already a thing.
Local company.
Yep.
In Utah.
Yeah.
We'll hear from them later today too.
The funny thing is, like, if they were just looking at the blockchain, they don't need to send 7 agents to you. They could have just done that from their home.
Old school
Yeah.
audits with 40 caliber pistols. Okay. Another thing, never engage on Telegram or Discord with random people offering to help you if you get stuck. They're going to typically say, go to this site, we can help you, blah, blah, blah. You're going to connect your wallet, and they're going to make you do an approval, and you're going to get rugged.
And then the other aspect is never give your 12-word passphrase out. It's the same as like giving your banking login information out to someone, giving any kind of username and password. You wouldn't give that to anyone, so why would you give your 12-word passphrase away? So the only exception is when you're importing your seed phrase into a new wallet. But Safemoon will never ask for your 12-word passphrase. Scott will never ask for your 12-word passphrase. Don't give
Give me your
Scott your
passphrase.
12-word passphrase. But yeah, so make sure you're hitting approvals on the correct sites. And back to you, Dan.
This is very real. I've been in the Safemoon community for a few months now, and there are bots, thousands of them, that try to respond to tweets as if they're support for Safemoon, asking for, and that will never happen. Doesn't matter if you see a logo, it looks like Coinbase. I've had Coinbase phishing things that look so real, like perfect pages, logos, everything. And they're asking me to like re-verify stuff. And I'm like, I go look into it. I'm like, whoa, that is an elaborate phishing scam. There's just, there's no reason to ever give. You only give it when you're like out trying to do your own work. Never is someone going to prompt you for those type of information. So just be careful. But don't make that so fearful that you don't operate in the metaverse and on crypto companies. Like, it's scary, but that doesn't mean there isn't ways to stay safe and make
Well,
money doing this.
it's not necessarily scary. It's just it's new. You just have to learn what they are. Just like we all know, you don't click on email links that are sent to you from unknown people. You don't open up attachments. This is just a new way to interact with the digital world, and you need to learn the rules and how to work in there safely.
Another thing, guys, is 2FA, two-stage authentication. Never use your cell phone as two-stage authentication. For anything, for any site, you should definitely use Authenticator because they can SIM hack your phone number easily, and AT&T is really easy. In fact, I had one of my accounting people just do a test to see if they could get my cell phone, and they got it like in an hour. So don't use that. Use Google Authenticator or something to that effect. So the more layers of security that you have, the safer that you're going to be, because it's crazy right now. And right now, crypto is like the easiest thing to poach because everyone's so excited and emotionally charged by it that people do dumb things. And even friends I know that have billions of dollars in crypto, they get excited. And sometimes you just got to breathe. And sometimes you get there faster by slowing down a little bit. So slow down on any sort of projects. I want to shift gears, though, to real world utility in the NFT world, though, as well. A lot of you guys have been seeing I've been buying lots of NFTs lately. And VFriends, Gary Vaynerchuk's project's interesting because it's one of the first projects that were out that, and it's not an endorsement, but I own a bunch, that actually has world utility. And why his really just mooned very well is simply because you can go to his conferences by buying the token. So he charges 10 grand to go to his V conference thing. And so I'm like, well, if I buy one now for 25, 30, 40, I think they're 50 grand now. Well, at least you can go to his conference for 3 years. So that's 30 grand in value. So what you're going to see, I was talking to Steve Aoki the other day. So he's like, yeah, man, like when I do like these drops for my NFTs and things, so they can see events and concerts and things, exclusive stuff, physical merch drops, all those things. So you're going to see more and more of that real world utility in the NFT world and straight tokens and everything. And John's a pioneer in this. I have a few friends right now that are tokenizing billions of dollars in real estate. So you can own fractional shares of apartment complexes and different things like that. So guys, right now we're on the verge. Like literally, once this regulation comes in and actually gets in place, don't fight it because it's going to turn it from a garage band into mainstream. But so what if it turns into like Justin Bieber, right? It doesn't really matter. That's actually a good thing. So I'm not anti-regulation. I think it's inevitable. And yeah, a lot of the OGs are going to be like, this is making it illegitimate. We're not special anymore. Well, this is going to be the new people's currency, guys. And this is going to help the government because then everybody, poor, rich, you're going to pay your taxes when you transfer that US stable coin, and they're just going to tax you on the transaction, right? I mean, that's inevitable. But I'd like to hear a little more what John thinks of that because his ecosystem is definitely going to help a lot of that.
Yeah, I'll kind of expand on the NFT side of things. So one of the concepts I looked at was
Seating up here,
you-
guys, real fast. I see everyone waiting. There's seating all around. So come walk out in front of people. Sit in the front row if you want. John.
yeah, no worries. So one of the things that we looked at was, when you mint an NFT, can there be a real world event that takes place? And the answer is yes. So I'll use the wind turbines as an example. When you buy a wind turbine NFT, or you and your friends buy a wind turbine NFT, a real wind turbine is installed and put into the real world and built. Now, when you hold that NFT, you receive real world reflections in the form of Safemoon, into your wallet or into the game that you apply this NFT. When there's more of these wind turbines that are put into this game, simultaneously more in real life. And so it's creating this mirror between reality, which is where we all live, and the metaverse, which is where we play. So being able to combine both of those, anchor them to where they live symbiotically together, is going to basically allows us not to leave anybody behind, because there is a large portion of the world that won't be able to participate in the metaverse right from the get-go. This is a way for them to participate in a way and then evolve, and then they will get to the point where now they're minting a wind turbine NFT, and somewhere else a real wind turbine is being put in.
So you and this is our last question, then we're going to Q&A. You see crypto, Safemoon, as a equalizer or a way to bring wealth and make it more fairly distributed?
It's not necessarily it's bridging communities through the development of human-based innovations so that we can build a better and brighter tomorrow, which means clean energy, fast and efficient internet, a fair supply chain for food distribution. All of these things are easily accomplished via the use of blockchain, which is an amazing technology that we haven't been able to tap into before.
One little last piece about how this is going to save the world. This is hypercritical. So John's working with some presidents of African countries, and I am as well, and we'll collab and merge our projects. But if you look in Africa, I was talking to the guy who's running for the president of Mali, and he was talking about how like the village chiefs don't want to pay taxes because it's used for corruption, right? So a blockchain is a public ledger. So the cool thing about that is imagine someone trading their goat for, bananas or whatever, and that being able to be handled with a digital transaction. The government would then get a percentage that's taxed fairly, and it's fully doxed and disclosed of who's getting what to build schools, clean water, wind turbines, and all those kind of things. So this is going to be the evolution. So look at John right now, look at me, look at Scott, and you're going to see, though, I think the planet will be changed, and it's going to be a better world for everybody.
Definitely. Q&A?
Let's pass the mics, and we have
Yeah.
about, I'm going to say 10, 15 minutes of Q&A.
Go.
Raise your hand and scream your question right here in the front.
Type gaming. So currently, I love video games. I'm a big player of kind of like anything first-person shooter or anything where you can kind of party up with your friends and have a casual time with them. But I've kind of noticed that within play-to-earn gaming, there's not really as many opportunities for quite as immersive or maybe intense of an experience. From my perspective, I'm kind of an outsider. It kind of just looks like click to play, like single actions. You don't really get to do much connecting with your friends. Yeah, when do you think that might change?
You're saying it feels like Atari and you want Xbox. There you go.
So again, you guys should look at Cinder.io, Clark Stacy's project from WildWorks. Very cool. It's going to bring that AAA quality and experience into it. Because right now, everyone's just, FOMOing and getting into Decentraland and all these different things, which are cool. But this next evolution for what you're looking for is going to be there. The big thing is, working the Apple tax in the App Store and Google Play, and that's fine. That'll be worked out, But the cool thing is to be able to seamlessly be able to sell your assets, low gas fees, get your money in and out, and be able to have real life rewards. I mean, people dedicate, like, I know some guys that spend 30, 40 hours a week playing video games just to have virtual, not worth anything, transactable stuff. Imagine, though, if you can actually make money doing that.
Do you have anything to add, John, or should I go to another question?
We can go to another question.
All right, raise your hand. This is your chance. I'm going to go back here, and I'll come back to you. All right, we got.
Hello, how's it going? You spoke a little bit more about Trust Wallet and how we can now really trust Trust Wallet, even though it's called Trust Wallet. Now there's Giddy Wallet and there's Safemoon Wallet, but what makes them safer than any other wallet out there?
So Trust Wallet doesn't institute a limit on the amount of tries you can do for logging in, and that's one of the big pieces. So brute forcing is a lot easier. And then with Safemoon Wallet, we do have a limit. We do have other security features put in, even down to the encryption that we're integrating into the platform. It's NIST certified for all you encryption nerds, but it makes it significantly harder and way more expensive for a hacker to do it. So nothing's unhackable per se, but if you create the barrier to entry or the barrier to actually hack it to be in the billions upon billions upon billions of dollars, well, they're not going to go after small wallets. and they're not going to, go after a wallet that is secure. They're going to go after the other providers that have weaker security.
Does someone from Giddy want to answer that real fast? On the wallet, on security side, do you guys have anybody here? Okay, you'll do it there. Yeah, that's another good question for the DeFi panel. Another question in the back, and I'll come back and do it, I promise. All right, let's get the, here you go, 1, 2, 3.
Well, so DeFi, true decentralization, doesn't exist when you have a company behind it. Now, what I mean by that is you have a company, let's say take Oracle, for example. They have an open source JavaScript that is what I would say is decentralized, but it is developed by a centralized company. So a centralized company
Mhm.
can build decentralized tools, if that makes sense. So it's not us going away from DeFi. It's a company essentially being able to evolve a decentralized tool or decentralized product continuously over time. One of the big issues is you can't predict everything. And if a project removes their ability to adapt to a situation, like Safemoon has seen many, many times over the past 10 months, it could kill the project right then and there. You can't remove your ability to adapt, but you don't have to give up decentralization. Does that answer your question?
Well, you also have to then trust now you're evaluating also management team and the
Yep.
people in charge. And that's why I love that John is approachable. He's doxed. He's got an HQ. He's working with every regulating group, governing body out there. Like, he's not running around like another person I met the other day doing this Hex project, Richard Hart, that's hiding from Interpol. I don't want to get killed, so don't tweet that, guys. But like, truthfully, I've met a lot of these crypto lords out there making amazing projects. And when more centralized it gets, you're gonna have to trust more of the humans behind it. And that's why I'm so proud to have someone that I know. I can't crack this guy. I've tried to like get stuff out of him. This is who you want running. This is who you want running a protocol like this. And there's people out there you don't want. So like that's you got to now look at projects and who's the human leadership behind it. And that's I've seen that a lot as I look at DAOs and stuff. And we'll meet a lot more of these DAOs and these leaders here the rest of the day. Let me get a few more questions in before we close this panel out.
Well, nice to meet you guys. It's a pleasure. It's really being here. I've been an investor since last April. I love Safemoon. It's been a great experience. I love my Safemoon army. It's amazing. So I have a question. My father-in-law owns over $1 billion in assets, you know, in commercial development. He owns Beck Development down in Provo. I want to start pitching to him like ideas about, you know, providing NFTs and, you know, having investors who own NFTs, you know, and being partial owners of these, you know, commercial real estate properties. Once you have, you know, NFTs publicly open, you know, in your suite of products, will you have a team that you can, you know, communicate with if you're one of the vendors, or, you know, yeah, just us wanting to like meet with you guys and see like if we can, you know, talk logistics, or just kind of iron out like details and things like that. And also like, how soon are you expecting to roll that out to the public, where NFTs will be available with SafeMoon?
NFTs are being worked on as we speak. We've scaled that team rapidly. And what the other aspect you're talking about is a B2B or business development team. We have those in London, we have those in Lithuania, Switzerland, and we also have them here in Utah. Hayden, who is our sales director and head of partnerships, you can reach out to him, and we'll have some BDMs here today. There's one in the back right now if you want to go speak with him. So,
But it's safe to say that is an in-demand, like your partnerships team is growing, and there's going to be a lot of demand for this type of
yes.
question. And there's some other people here you need to meet. So just what's your name real fast? So find Carlos. He's got a father-in-law with $1 billion under asset. I know Relium. Is probably here. They're doing that in Provo on the chain. Anybody else that wants to crack a NFT problem that we have out here? There's a lot of these in the crowd, by the way, folks. So that's why we're here to talk and meet. I'm going one more question, unless you have something else to say, John.
No.
Okay. One more question. It's got to be a good one. Like, let's do a general. Are you sure it's good? Like, if it's not good, all right. All right, stand up. This is the last final question. Better be good.
John, how you doing? Safemoon Al here, all the way from New York City. Yeah. So I hope my question is good. Recently, you put up a billboard in Times Square, right? I'm from New York City. It's actually hard to purchase Safemoon in New York City. So how will you create it where, you know, fellow New Yorkers like myself and everyone else who lives in New York and visit the billboard, how will Safemoon become, I guess, easy to buy for New Yorkers like myself?
Well, that kind of dives into the compliance and regulatory side of things, and which is a heavy focus for us. My team out of London right now, that's all they work on, is those regulatory items. And it is a process. I mean, New York and Texas are two of the most difficult areas to work in terms of regulation. However, we have a dedicated team working on it. You know, we're filing for MSTs, MSBs, other, you know, alphabet soup names, you know, of licenses that are required. And so they're working on that actively, because I do understand that New York, Texas, and other areas it's a higher barrier to entry to provide products and services in the blockchain space too. So yeah, we're actively working on it. And to summarize the question, it's just going through the compliance process.
John, will we be on an exchange that's more accessible, that's not Bitmart?
I cannot talk about the exchange that we're.
You're supposed to say
working
yes.
with.
The question, I mean, it's a great question, and this is a real problem. On-ramping your money is not that easy right now.
On-ramp and off-ramp.
And off-ramp is even harder. These are the technology innovations that are getting built right now. Giddy's underway doing that. We're trying to figure out how to on-ramp and on-ramp and off-ramp fiat as fast as we can. And, you know, that's why these first movers like Coinbase and Gemini are so good for that, because they've been around for a while. They're doing it. And they've got those rails and those banking relationships worked out. But believe me, every single token coin company out there is trying to figure out how to do that faster. There's a lot of money to be made, whoever can do it fast and do it right. So it's on everyone's mind. We're going to get you out there in New York, I promise. All right.
Safemoon will be implementing our debit card off-ramp system Q2.
So there really is a Times. I mean, I've been seeing it. I just thought it was Photoshopped. You've taken over Times Square?
18-story tall billboard in Times Square.
Yes.
But
Woo! All right, that ends our first panel. That was random, and That's what you get with a pop-up like this.
Hey,
But
Scott,
we're gonna do a break. We're gonna go on. You meet Dan and John around today. There's a party tonight. The rest of the panels are gonna be way better than this one because this was just kind of like just some friends riffing on stage. Oh, God, got Dan saying
Scott,
something.
just one more thing. You guys, we haven't had a lot of time to give you all the details, so I want these guys to share their social media. You can follow me at Dan's Millionaire Code on Instagram. I read all my direct messages if you have questions. And if you guys could share where the people can find you guys.
You can find me on the official Discord. You can find me on Twitter at Captain Hodl. It's CPTHODL. And then for my Instagram, it's John_Karony.
I'm Scotty Coin on Twitter. So that's mine for now. And LinkedIn's my favorite place to play. So just look up my name, Scott Paul. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
See you back in just a bit. That was really good. I love it. I've never had just.
We'll be back here at 10:30 for our next panel. So be back here at 10:30. Thanks, everyone.